Good morning. If you want to see how we made this Yulu knife out of a saw blade, stay tuned because that's what we're going to do today. Oh, welcome to another Memphis Monday 317. Today we're going to make a Yulu knife. I didn't even know what a Yulu knife was until a friend of mine called me and he wants me to make him a Yulu cutting board and a Yulu knife. And I'm quite sure I can make the cutting board, but I'd never heard of a Yulu knife. But it's one of those curved knives that you cut up veggies and stuff with. It's spelled U-L-U and it's pronounced Yulu. So all you knife making experts out there can fast forward to the handle making part, because when it comes to metalworking, I'm helpless, and it's just going to be an adventure doing it. But let's knock off the excuses and get to work. This is a little sketch of our Yulu knife, and since it's a small project, I actually made it to actual size. We're making it out of a little radius of a saw blade. First part of it was pretty simple, just cutting cutting out the Yulu knife profile out of the blade and grinding off the teeth. These are carbide saw teeth. Can't really grind them off, but you can knock them off with a hammer. What I'm working on now is trying to cut out this center section here. You can see where I've tried to drill through it. That's 3 new bits, and I only got one of them to go through. It's very hard stuff. What I'm going to try to do is heat this up, and maybe I'll soften it where I can drill through it. Let's try that. What I'm going to do is try to heat this up red hot and let it cool down naturally in the air. Maybe that'll soften it where I can get through it with some tools. Curious thing on this, it seems like it's softer on this side than it is the other. It's like maybe it was case hardened on the other side. Let's see if I can drill a hole in it. See, the hole made it about halfway through, and then it wouldn't cut anymore. I'm going to try now. I was heating it up and then trying to cut it with a jigsaw. Well, heating it up and then going over it with a jigsaw with a metal blade seems to be working. want to burn my shop down. Well, at least I got a hole in it. Now if I can figure out how to shape it on the inside. Let's let that, oh man, that's hot. I wonder why. This is called the bird bath cooling method. If you don't have a bird bath, you can use something else. I suspect there's zero chance of this working, but we're going to try to smooth the inside of that handle using our oscillating drum sander. Okay, you get to see it at the same time I do. Now I'm finishing the shaping of this with the Dremel tool. So there's what we got done so far. Looks like a pretty good match. Now all we have to do is drill these two holes right here. Okay, you're saying at the same time I am. These bits are supposed to last 10 times longer. Be super galactic. They're real proud of them. Let's see if they actually work. Well, that one worked. I'm working on the handle. You just saw me making up this 3/8 inch stock. And what I'm doing is I'm going to enclose the blade in the handle. So what I need to do is just make a notch here that's about a 32nd of an inch deep for this to fit down in so that the other side of the blade will fit flat so I can attach it. You could take this out with a router, but I don't think anybody ever would, because one off thing like this, by the time you set your router up, you'd be done. Well, I got it all leveled up. So now this other side will fit right flat on top of it. What I'm doing now is drilling holes through here. I'll be holding this thing together with pins. It's kind of tricky the way you do this. So now you take this other side of the handle, and now you drill it from the other side. That way your pins will line up, because the epoxy is really what will hold this thing together. Okay, then this goes here. And now that I had this pin in, this one should be lined up. That's my theory. Well, we got our glue up. Now we'll just let this sit for a few hours, and then we can sand down the handle into shape. I let it cure for about 12 hours. So let's take it apart and see how we did. Oh, there it is, roughed out. That's the thickened resin up there. We'll have to sand all that off. This needs to be sanded. The whole thing needs to be sharpened yet. I'm cutting those pins off there instead of grinding them. half the handle on the belt sander. Now I need to rig this thing up in a vise or something and chip out that resin on the inside there. This is kind of a takeaway. Whenever you're using epoxy or resin like this, don't let it dry in big globs like this. You know, when it was wet, I could have just wiped it off. Chipping like this is a pain. I'll get the surface resin off the inside here with the chisel right up next to the blade. The shank of the blade. And then we'll shape this inner part of the handle using a Dremel tool or whatever I can find. I kind of broke my rule a little bit last night. While this thing was curing, I checked out YouTube to see if we were making this thing right, and I think we are. The video I watched, he cut it out basically the same way. He used a smaller angle grinder, and he didn't cut this circle out here. He left it open on one end so that the blade went around like this, but it was open here, so he could just cut in here. But it seemed to me that this design right here would be stronger. Okay, what I'm doing is a little hand sanding. And then we'll put some finish on it. Think about just using teak oil. What do you think? Funny, but I kind of like the smell of this stuff. I'll strop it a little bit here. I might have to use a sharpening stone on this, I think. Well, that about does it for Memphis Monday 317. We cut out the section of the saw and made this Yulu knife. It's got the metal goes all the way through the handle, so it's nice and strong. We've got these aluminum pins in there. We hardened it. Full disclosure, the Backside looks like a blind man did it. But I think it's going to work. Well, that does it for Memphis Money 317. Today we made this Yulu knife out of section of our large saw blade. Turned out okay. The metalworking wasn't that great, but handle turned out fine. So in the next few weeks, I don't know exactly when, we're going to make a Yulu cutting board. You know, it's got a little dip in it of the Yulu blade. I don't know exactly when we're going to do that, maybe next week. But that's the plan. Okay, like, favorite, share, comment, all the stuff you do on the internet.